You know that feeling when you're scrolling through endless nail art tutorials, dreaming of recreating those intricate 3D designs, but every time you try it by hand you end up with smudges, uneven layers, or a wasted bottle of polish. I've been there, and I get why you'd be hesitant to drop a few $100s on something that promises to print perfect nails at the touch of a button. The fear of buying a gadget that sounds cool but turns into a dusty shelf ornament is real, especially when you've already spent on brushes, gels, and LED lamps that barely get you past a basic French tip. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's break down what the fast 3D nail printer actually does in a day-to-day setting, and why that matters before you decide whether it's worth the investment for your home studio or your small business nail chair. First off, the machine is a compact desktop unit that fits on a typical workbench. It sports a 5-inch touchscreen that walks you through the whole workflow. Upload a design, choose your nail size, hit print, and the device does the rest. The whole process, from loading the digital file to the first coat of polish, is claimed to take around 20 seconds per nail, which is a big time saver compared to the manual layering most of us are used to. If you're a hobbyist who loves experimenting with new patterns every week, the printer's Wi-Fi and USB connectivity is a real plus. You can pull a design straight from your phone, a design marketplace, or even a simple PNG you made in a drawing app, and the machine translates that into a printable stencil for the nail bed. For a small nail salon, that means you can offer a custom design service without having to train an employee on complex brush techniques. The drying module built into the base also means you don't have to juggle a separate lamp. The printer dries the polish as it finishes the pattern, cutting down on the total turnaround time per client. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that actually affect your bottom line. The 1200 dpi resolution is high enough to render fine details like tiny flowers or delicate lace without the pixels becoming noticeable. In my trial runs, the printer reproduced a 0.2 mm line cleanly, which is impressive given the small canvas of a nail. The Alanone design painting and drying in one station reduces the clutter on a nail table and eliminates the need to move a client from a printer to a separate dryer. That streamlined workflow can be especially valuable during peak hours, where every extra minute saved translates to more appointments. However, the machine isn't a magic wand that eliminates all the usual nail art challenges. First, you still need to supply the appropriate nail polish cartridges that are compatible with the printer's dispensing system. Those cartridges aren't included, and while you can buy generic colors, the range isn't as extensive as the full palette you'd find at a professional supply store. If you're a color enthusiast who loves mixing shades on the fly, you might find the limited cartridge options a bit restricting. Second, there's a learning curve in getting the software to recognize nail shapes correctly. The touchscreen does a decent job of guiding you, but you'll spend a few minutes calibrating the size for each client, especially if you work with both short and long nails in the same day. That calibration step adds a small overhead that can feel unnecessary if you only do basic designs. Another hidden trade-off is the maintenance routine. Because the printer sprays liquid polish onto a tiny surface, you'll notice a fine mist of overspray on the surrounding area. A quick wipe down with a lint-free cloth after each client keeps the work surface clean, but you'll need to keep a small cleaning kit handy. Also, the nozzle can clog if you let the machine sit for an extended period without using it, which means you'll have to run a cleaning cycle occasionally. Those are minor tasks, but they're worth mentioning if you're looking for a truly sit-and-forget device. So, who should seriously consider adding this printer to their toolkit? If you run a boutique nail studio and want to differentiate your service with custom 3D designs that can be turned around in under a minute, the fast 3D nail printer offers a clear advantage. It also makes sense for creators who produce nail art content on YouTube or Instagram. Having a reliable way to reproduce a design consistently can save you hours of filming and editing. For the DIY enthusiast who loves to experiment but is tired of the mess that comes with hand painting, this machine provides a cleaner, faster path to the same creative results. On the flip side, if you're a casual user who does nails only on special occasions, the upfront cost plus the ongoing expense of compatible polish cartridges probably isn't justified. Likewise, nail artists who specialize in freehand techniques, negative space designs, or thick gel layers may find the printer's thin film approach limiting, because the device is optimized for regular nail polish rather than